to recover after fumbling a baddie. Guys, lock in. ये हम सबकी situation है भाई.
Fumbling. We've all been there. You catch
We have all been there. Facts, guys. Facts.
feelings. They
हम
like
सब थे bro. We have all fumbled. We literally fumble. मैं तो लिटरली फंबल तुम्हारे सामने करता हूँ. लिटरली मैं मेल के आगे भी करता हूँ ब्रो. फीमेल की बात ही मत करूँ भाई.
you back and then it all goes wrong. The first time I fumbled a girl, I was in 8th grade. I had
8th grade? So late, bro.
a couple classes with this
That's
girl.
so late.
And we'd talk a lot in class and FaceTime each other when we got home from school. It got to the point where her friends were teasing us and shipping us together, but I was 14 and like most 14-year-olds, I had no clue what I was doing. You see, we both came from immigrant families where dating at that age was frowned upon, and it's not like we could drive either, so we couldn't even meet in public. I know a lot of you guys can relate to this struggle. The best we could do out of school was hang out at volunteer events for NHS, and that's kind of what that year was for me, just kind of having a flirty talking stage with no real progress happening. And then the summer after 8th grade, I went to India to visit my grandparents.
India, bro. I was telling you this guy is from India, man. कोई मेरी बात मानता नहीं था भाई.
And they didn't have Wi-Fi at their house.
Bro, that's L. I literally live in India. I have Wi-Fi, bro. I literally have 2 Wi-Fi in my home. What the fuck is he saying?
So for that
He actually lives in backward area or something like that, I guess.
entire summer, I couldn't communicate with
That's L, bro. That's L, bro.
anyone back home.
He's lying. He's lying. He's straight up lying. He's straight up lying, guys. Straight up lying. Straight up.
Especially not the girl. So any chance of advancing the relationship over break was completely gone. As a side note, it was really weird not having Wi-Fi every time I visited India as a kid, because I would miss out on the songs and memes that came out over summer, and would have like a 2-week period after I got home where I had to educate myself. I specifically remember the year I missed out on the "What are those" meme, and when I got home in August, all my friends were roasting my shoes and I had no clue what they were talking about. Anyways, not being able to communicate with the girl over summer break cost me everything, because when I returned, I found out that she had started dating someone else over this summer. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, at first it stung a little bit, but it didn't hurt too bad because we were going to different high schools, so I didn't have to see her next year and I could start afresh. But 9th grade wasn't exactly a walk in the park, because that's when the double fumble happened. An incident so influential on my life that I
इसका फंबल इतना ज़्यादा बुरा भी नहीं था क्योंकि इसके दोस्त वगैरह भी नहीं थे ब्रो साइड में.
still think about it on probably a weekly basis.
अगर तुम्हारा एक बार फंबल हो गया अगर तुम्हारी लड़कियों के सामने, फिर तो तुम्हारी इतनी गंदी बेइज्जती करेंगे ना तुम्हारी दोस्त भाई.
One day I was sitting with my friends at lunch when 2 girls, Tiana and Amy, approached us. Tiana took violin classes from one of my friend's dads, so they already knew each other, and I brought up how I played violin as well. Later that evening, I got texts from both Tiana and Amy because they both asked for my number from my friend.
Yo.
Now, Tiana and Amy were best friends. Like every
No. Then why did they both ask your number, man?
time I'd see them at school, they were together. So in hindsight,
Were they gay or something, guys?
was kind of weird that they both wanted my number, but ignoring red flags is just a part of being an adolescent, and I thought nothing of it. Over the next couple weeks, they would show up to my lunch table every day, and after school, I'd hop on a group call with the 2 of them and talk. And then I started noticing something weird happening. They started calling me individually, and it was clear that they both liked me, but
Yup, they liked you, bro. They literally liked you, bro.
then on these one-on-one calls, they started trash talking the other one. And remember, these are supposedly best friends. Now, I was getting a little freaked out, but
Bro, literally, you break their whole friendship and shit, bro. Because of you, bro. Because of you. You are a jerk, bro. You are literally a jerk, bro.
I
You literally
did
broke their friendship, man. What the fuck
like
are you
Tiana
doing?
back, and I was trying to find a way to get with her without hurting Amy's feelings, but obviously we were never gonna make that work, so we just kind of stuck with our current predicament, and I was getting more and more uncomfortable with each passing day. I was afraid I had dug myself into a hole I couldn't get out of, and I was genuinely in shock at how fake Tiana and Amy's friendship was. I mean, seriously, how do you go to school
No, bro. It was not fake. You literally broke their friendship, man. I'm saying you, bro.
for 8 hours and pretend to be someone's best friend only to immediately talk trash about them as soon as you get home? I honestly had no clue what to do, but then in March 2020, I was saved. Now, Now, I think we can all agree that that was an awful time, but since we were stuck inside, it completely bailed me out because I didn't have to see Tiana or Amy anymore. In fact, both of them moved away the year after, so I haven't seen them since. Okay, so I just checked their Instagrams and apparently they both go
How
to
did you have their Instagram by the way? अब तक तेरे पास वही Instagram है भाई.
my college. So how about
जब
this?
हम हाई
If
स्कूल में
this
थे हमारा
video gets
Instagram तब तक भाई इतने में हमने चेंज ही कर ली थी आईडिया आई गेस.
10,000 likes, I'll make a
इसके बाद तो
follow-up
चलाता ही नहीं मैं जो.
video confronting them about what happened in high school. Now let me tell you about the ice cream fumble, aka my most recent fumble. It's not a fumble in the most traditional sense, but the story's still funny, so I
What
figured
is ice cream fumble by the way?
I'd tell it to you. It happened about 2 months ago. I asked a girl out from my college on an ice cream date. You know, something chill, something cute, a nice way to spend the afternoon. I figured I'd do something nice for her, so I didn't take her to Cold Stone or Brahms or Baskin Robbins. I researched a nice ice cream spot near
Yo, W bro, W bro.
her apartment, and I figured it'd be worth spending a little extra for the experience. I pick her up and we head over, and the date starts out pretty great. On the drive over, we exchange stories about our backgrounds and start cracking jokes and opening up. Eventually, we get to the shop and order a small cone each.
कहीं ये कूप तो नहीं गिरा देगा आइसक्रीम का bro? Let me predict this shit.
And I didn't even
Literally fall is scoop.
look at the prices because I've never spent more than like $7 on ice cream in my life. And then the server rings me up. Sir, your total will be $14. Excuse, what? $14 for 2 small cones. On top of that, he turns around the iPad and of course, there's a tipping option. I'm supposed to tip you for scooping ice cream into a cone. Every bone in my body
बास्किन रॉबिन्स के रेट भी तो इतने ही है भाई इंडिया में. इतने ही है ब्रो. व्हाट द फक इज ही सेइंग? $14 मतलब 1400 रुपीस. बास्किन रॉबिन्स का एक कोन जो होता है वो 800 रुपीस का होता है इंडिया के. अगर 2 स्कूप अगर हो तो 1600 रुपीस हो जाएंगे. What the fuck is he talking about?
That's no tip. Pause. But I was on a first date with a girl I had just met, and not tipping would probably be a bad look, so of course I pressed 20% as my conscience suffered. Now you're probably wondering, how was the ice cream? It was okay, but definitely not worth $17. So I was in a bit of a bad mood after overpaying for mediocre ice cream, but I figured it wasn't worth ruining the rest of the date, so we sat outside and resumed our conversation. She actually was telling me a really interesting story about how her roommate was legitimately crazy, but it was hard to focus because 5 minutes in, the ice cream in my cone started melting and dripping down my hand.
I told you gang. I told you gang.
And of course, I forgot to get napkins, so now I'm trying to focus on her story while my hand is turning into a sticky, chocolatey mess. I was trying to find a moment to excuse myself to wash my hands, but her story was so crazy and had no
Bro
breaks
was
in it.
literally hooked in her story, man. What?
So I was in an awkward situation. Eventually, I couldn't take it anymore, so I cut her off mid-sentence and said, I need to wash my hands, and after that, the vibe was off. I think she took my distraction for the melted ice cream as disinterest in her story, so she was less enthusiastic when I got back
L girlfriend bro, finally.
from cleaning off the ice cream. I think we both understood the situation, so eventually I just dropped her back at her apartment. The funniest thing is, I think she might watch my videos,